Now that we have our center blocks done, it's time for the inner borders. Hi everyone, Cristin here, and we are continuing with our cuties for October. So far we did our center blocks, and I noticed how funny that I was saying yesterday that we did this same design, this around the block, I think it was called, for August, but we did it differently. Notice how funny, I didn't realize at the time, but see how our center blocks go outward, and for our sunflowers, they went inward. So I thought that was really interesting that Kimberbell came up with that fun idea. So our center blocks are all done. We have all four. I did mine with quilting in black so that my bat stood out. I'm curious to see how you do yours. So now it's time to do the inner borders. So it should be a very easy day doing inner borders. So grab your packet for your inner borders. They are on page 44, and it has this orange star fabric. All right, so the orange star fabric, there's two different sizes. So the first one, let me grab my notes here. The first one, so by the way, I mentioned in the prep video that I recommend cutting them longer than what is noted in the book, just to make sure that you have enough, and then we'll cut them down in assembly. So the first two, so these are inner border A, the shorter two, and these, I have mine at 1 3/4 times 12, so 12 inches long. In the book it says 10 1/2, and if you do that, that'll work out fine, hopefully. Sorry, I've had mine too short before, and that's just really a bummer. So to me, I think cutting them a little bit longer makes it a lot easier, less stressful. So, because you never know, that quilting could pull it in just a bit and they could be too short. So my recommendation, instead of the 10 1/2 inches long, my recommendation is for inner border A, 2 pieces at 1 3/4 by 12 inches long. That's for inner border A. All right. And then for inner border B, that's the longer two pieces, okay? So this one, in the book, it has these 2 pieces at 1 3/4 by 13. I cut mine to 2 pieces, 1 3/4 by 15. So just a little bit longer just to make sure. And then, like I said, we'll cut them down in assembly. I did my inner borders. I did stabilize them. We are going to quilt them. It's totally up to you if you decide to or not, but I decided to put the fusible backing on the back of my inner borders. So the only other thing that we need for today is batting. And your batting, if you do it the way that I'm going to show you, you want your batting to be exactly the size that we need. Exactly, all right? Because that'll make it so that we don't have batting in our seams. And if it works out that you have batting in your seams, believe me, the world is not going to end. So either way, but if you can have it less bulky in the seams, that's better. So for the batting, for A, the shorter pieces, we're going to have 2 pieces at 1 1/4 by 10. 1 1/4 by 10 for your batting, 2 pieces. And then for B, the longer two, we're going to have 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 times 12 1/2. So 12 1/2 inches long by 1 1/4 thick, all right? That's for inner border B. And I've shown in all the other tutorials, I'm going to add my batting on with my glue stick. If you haven't bought the glue stick or tried this method, I highly recommend it. It's so easy. It has this purple disappearing glue so that you can get it on there quickly and then it goes away. I will add a link here for the glue sticks that come quickly from Amazon. It's the nice big ones. Sometimes you find the littler ones and it's just wasteful in my opinion, so get the big ones. That's what this link is for. So the glue stick, I'm going to add my batting on directly onto our borders before we start the process, and then we'll take away those first 2 steps of the quilting, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm also going to try and put all 4 in one hooping. I think that won't be a problem at all. I will bring you over to the computer and show you how I'm going to do that. Hi everyone, I'm at my computer now and I'm going to quickly show you how to merge the 4 strips together if you choose. So I'm going to open up Embellishment Essentials, and I bet you we've done this one before actually, but that's right. I don't know what hoop size we're going to need, so I'm just going to leave it for now. Right now it says at the bottom that I'm on my 7x12 hoop. I don't think that'll be big enough. I'm not sure. So let's just go ahead and see what we need. So I'm going to go up here to merge stitch file, and I am going to find the Cuties quilting designs right there. Embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine, and then borders. So we're looking for border links in a 1-inch design. So border links right there. And we want a 1-inch. So see, we did this before. So if you have it saved, you don't even need to do this again. You can just grab the one that you have from before. That's so easy. I should just grab the tutorial from before. I think I will. Let's do that. Why not? Save some time. And it shows me that I need my 9x14 hoops. I'm going to go up here to Preferences folder and change it to my 9x14 hoop. Say OK. So we've already got the links designed. So I will just include that previous tutorial. That will save me some time. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to my machine. I'm going to say Utility. Send to Celery, and I'm all ready to go. I will share the information for those that didn't do it with us last time. I don't recall off the top of my head which one we needed this border links, but I will find it. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer and I'm going to show you how to merge together the inner borders, do a color sort, do an align and distribute, all that fun stuff. So real quick, if you are in the market for embroidery software, please use my affiliate link. I have it on each of my videos and also in the video notes. It is www.embrilliance.com/jam affiliate/Cristin creates. If you go to that, and then you can easily find Embrilliance from there. So on here, if you, let's see, it's sometimes on this front page too, but if you click right here, see in the left-hand corner, the very top thing is Essentials, or there's also this Store button, and that takes you to Essentials as well. Either one will work. So Essentials right now, it's on sale for a few more days at $139 instead of $150. Add to cart, and that's how you order it and use my affiliate link. That's the affiliate link. Like I said, I will include a link up here actually that you can click on that directly, and it'll take you to Embrilliance using my affiliate link, and then you just click on Essentials. All right, so let's go ahead and open up Embrilliance Essentials. When you first open it, your screen will probably be white or yellow. I don't remember what mine was, but I changed it to light pink in the Preferences folder. There's lots of things that you can do to set your choices. All right, so down here in the bottom right-hand corner, it says the hoop size. So I'm on my 8x12 hoop right now. That might actually work. I want 12, let's see, I want 12 inches of quilting. So let's start by bringing in the quilting designs, and then we can see what fits. All right, so there will be 4 different sizes, I believe. Let me get to that first page that tells us what we want. Sorry about that. So on page 44, it shows you the size of the borders and all the fabrics and all that, but on page 9 it tells you which inner border quilting design to use. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file, and we're looking for border links in a 1-inch design. So I'm in my table topper, there is my quilting bundle, embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine, and then I want a border links in a 1-inch design. So border links right there. So the third folder down, border links and waves. Oh, pretty. That's fun. So I'm assuming that will be our outer border. I like that. So you know what else is cool about these borders that we're receiving with our bundle of the Cuties is we can use this on a lot of other projects. So the perfectly pieced, if you get the perfectly pieced from Me Time, I love those. And there aren't usually a 1-inch design that comes with that. And so I can use them from my quilting bundle. That works out really well. All right, so you can see there is a 1x10, a 1x12, a 1x14, and a 1x7 for those with a smaller hoop size. So I think I will start, let me open up the 10" and see what size that is. My guess is it's going to be definitely less than 10. And let me see here. So I want 2 of them to be 10 inches exactly, and then 2 of them to be 12 inches. So I'm guessing the 10 actually won't even work for us, but let's just open it and see. So it will say down here, if I click on this, got to click on the stitching, it will say that it is 1 3/4 by 9 7/16, so less than 9 1/2. So that actually isn't going to work for me. I want it to be the full length of the quilting. This is really close, so for those of you that don't mind having a little bit on each edge without quilting, this will work for you just fine. I want it to be the full thing. I'd rather it be so full that it runs off the edge a little bit. So I clicked delete on my keyboard for that one. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file, open up that border links and waves again. You just have to click on the folder and then it starts to populate them. All right, so here's the 1 by 12. Let's see what size that is. That is 1 3/4 by 11 5/8. So that will work best for the one that is the 10-inch size, the smaller, the A strips. That will fit the 10-inch just fine. It'll be a little longer, so that will work for me. I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring it all the way over to the corner here, making sure not to go over the side of the hoop. That's yellow, dark yellow part is the hoop. All right, and that is the first one. And we need 2 of those. I need to change some of the colors, but let me first check out this other size, because actually that means I'm going to need a bigger hoop. So I'll first bring it in so you can see what happens. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file and I'm going to look at that 1 by 14 and see what that size it ends up being. So if I double click on that, you can see how they digitized it in a way that the design is exactly the same. I love that. But see how this turned red down here at the bottom? That's telling me that it's too big for my hoop. And if I were to zoom out, you can see that I'm over the hoop. All right, so I'm going to go up here to this folder here, the preferences folder, click on that, and I'm going to change my hoop to my 9 by 14 so that I can have longer quilting. And I forgot to look at what size that quilting is. You have to click on the actual design. First, let me go to this compass button and click H, and then I can see all of my hoops. So I'm going to click on this design here, and then it'll show me it's 1 3/4 by 13 13/16. 1 3/4 by 13 13/16. Did I say that right? So a little bit more than 1 3/4 times 13 3/4 is what it is, a tiny bit bigger than 13 3/4. And we want 12 1/2, so I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to go with the 12-inch and the 14-inch. Like I said, you could do the 10 and the 12-inch if you don't mind it being just a little bit too short. That will work fine. You can do 4 of this bigger one and it will just run off of the edge. Either way is going to work fine. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over. You can use the, what is it called? The keyboard arrows, the arrow keys on your keyboard to move it over, but I'm not going to worry about getting it aligned just right because I'm going to do an align and distribute anyway. All right, so now I need to change these colors. So I'm going to close up 2. This is 2 right here, the second design. I'm going to click on this first design, and now there's a couple of things I want to point out here. This blue and orange will join together. The blues will, the 2 default blues, and then there's an orange and a light orange, so those won't join. We don't have to worry about that. It's only the default one blue, which is step 1 and step 3. Those will join together when we do our color sort, so we don't want that to happen. But if you're adding the batting on like I am going to show you how, you actually don't need steps 1 and step 2, because step 1 is the placement stitch for our batting and step 2 is the tack down stitch of our batting. You don't need those. If you're going to add the batting onto your strips, you don't need them. I don't need them either, but I'm going to leave them in just to be able to remind everybody to bypass them for those that aren't using software. All right, so for you, you could just click to the right hand side and drag over and make sure that you've got step 1 and step 2 and click delete on your keyboard. All right, for me, since I'm going to leave it in, I need to change this one color so that it does not join with this other default one blue. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that color, and I'm going to change that first one to dark aqua. And now they're all different colors so that nothing will join. So that's perfect. Now what I want to do is I want 2 of those. So if I were to do a copy and paste right now, it's just going to give me this first part of the design because only that is selected. I want to make sure to have all of the 5 steps selected, so I click on that design itself, the whole design. All right, and I'm going to say Control C now that I already changed the colors, and then Control V like victory to paste it. And what it does is it goes right on top of that first one, so I can go ahead and click on the stitching and drag it. And I'm going to do it haphazardly just so that we can utilize that align and distribute button later. But notice that we have, what it's going to do is it's going to stitch this first one here, and then it's going to do this second one. It's going to jump over that second one and go to the third one because that's actually our second design, and then it's going to come back to this one. So I'm going to just reorder them. I want both of the 12-inch ones to go together, those in the right order. One of the 12-inch, another of the 12-inch, and then the 14-inch, and then another of the 14-inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm clicking on number 3, the third design, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say move earlier. All right, and that will bring it up so that now I have the first one and the second one and then the third one. So that's much better. This first one I'm going to move over though. I am going to move this over to the side. There we go. All right. Now this one, the third design, which is my 14-inch one, I want to change that first color again. You don't need to, like I said before, you can select over on the right hand side and drag over, make sure that you're getting step 3.1 and 3.2, and you can click delete on your keyboard. You don't need those. I don't need them either, but I'm going to leave them in just so I remember to tell everyone to bypass it. So I'm going to just change this first color to that same dark aqua that I used in the first one. All right. All right, so that is done. So notice that this dark aqua it's in our second one also since I did a copy and paste rather than bringing in the design all over again. Okay, so now this third one, we need another one of those, right? We have 4 strips, 2 of them shorter, 2 of them longer. So I need this one again. So I'm going to say Control C, making sure that I have everything selected for this third design, and then Control V like victory to paste it. All right, and now I have 4 designs, but look at that, it's right on top of that first one. So I'm going to use my arrow keys and I'm just going to move it over to the right. All right, so this is done as far as getting ready for a color sort. We have to make sure to do an align and distribute before we do a color sort though, because once we do a color sort, then those 4 designs become one design, and then you won't be able to move them around. All right, so we have to do that before we do a color sort, because you can see that they're not lined up right. This one's got a lot of space between it. This one has almost no space. So we want to do that whole align and distribute. To do that, we have to have all 4 designs selected so that it knows what you want to align and distribute. So I'm going to click from the bottom here and drag up so that I have all 4 designs. And then I'm going to go to Utility, Align and Distribute. And I always forget exactly how to do this. I think it's the center, but let's just see. I seem to like to get this wrong sometimes. Yeah, see, that's wrong. So I'm going to say close. If you do it wrong, here's your out right here. This button here is our undo button. And I'm just going to say undo. Oops, I made a mistake. That's not what I intended to do. And then I need to make sure that I've got my 4 designs selected again while I try again. So I'm going to go to Utility, Align and Distribute, and maybe it's just center. Let's see. I always forget. It's so funny that I always forget how to do this. But anyways, I'm going to click that center button and say apply, and it did. It moved them so that now that they're all lined up just right, but they notice there's still this big space here and almost no space here, so that's when we need to go to that distribute tab. So here's the align tab. Now we're going to click the distribute tab, and this one I'm pretty sure is center, and I've got it also selected at extent of selection. I think you can also do extent of hoop, but since I've already moved mine to the extent of the hoop, it's not going to matter. So I'm going to say apply, and now watch what will happen. These will move so that everything's got the right amount of space between the 4 different pieces. So I'm going to say apply, and there we go. All right, and I'm going to say close. Now notice I have a lot of space between each of them because I'm in my 9x14 hoop, so they're they're distributed equally now. So that is great. So all four the colors have been changed, and they are aligned and distributed. Now we need to do that color sort. So down here in the bottom right hand corner, you can see that we have 20 color steps. So 20 times our machine is going to stop and say, hey, what do you want to do next? I bet we can get that down a whole bunch. So I have the quilting design as turquoise on all of them because they're going to be the same. I'm going to use a brown thread on all of mine, so we don't need to worry about that either. I think we're all ready. So I'm going to go to Utility Color Sort right here. And then notice that you need to have these same settings that I have to get the same results that I'm getting. So 0 tolerance, and these are not checked. Now always click New View. I'm on Untitled 1 tab now. It will open another tab so that we can see what it did in case it's wrong. If it's wrong, if we did anything wrong, then we still have that first tab that we can go back and start over. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click New View and see it opened up one tab. If we go to this first tab, there's 4 designs, and whereas the second tab, they're all in one design now. So I'm going to click that plus sign so I can see what it did and make sure it's correct. So here's our placement of our batting. So the placement stitch for the batting, again, you don't need this, but I'm leaving it in so I can tell everyone to bypass it. And then our number 2 is our tack down of our batting. Again, we don't need that because we're going to add the batting strips right onto our fabric strips. All right, and then 1-3 is the placement of our strips. So after we get our batting on there, we're going to have a placement box that we put our strips right into and line it up just right. All right, so that's 1-3, and then 1-4, it's going to tack it down. And notice it's only tacking down the sides of these because they are border strips. It's not doing the whole box, it's just doing the sides. So that's perfect, everything we wanted. And then there is our quilting design. That is a really fun design. All right, and that's all together, so that worked out perfectly. I'm going to click outside of you can do it in here or over here, it doesn't matter, just to make sure nothing is selected. And of course, I forgot to turn my machine on. I'm going to do that real quick, hold on. All right, so before I send it to my machine, I want to save it so that when we use this design again, which I'm pretty certain we will, I want to say in November we do it again, but I could be making that up. So I'm going to go to File, Save, Stitch, File As. If you do as, then it's creating another file. If you were to just say save it, then you could be going over the first design that you brought in. So you want to always do a file save as. All right, so File, Save, Stitch, File As, and then I am going to tell it to put it in my folder that has my quilting designs. So I'm going to go down here to Cuties, Volume 2, July through December, double click on that, Embroidery Files, Pez is what I use for my machine, and I'm going to save it in that same folder. So it's that third folder down, Border Links and Waves, double click on that, and I'm going to say 1 by, what did I use, 12 and 1 by 14 borders. Inner, you could type out more. I like to not make the file names too long because that can create a problem. So I'm just going to say 1 by 12, 1 by 14 inner, and that will tell me that I've got it. So I'm going to say save. And if you have a USB stick, you could put that in your computer, copy it over to your USB stick. I'm going to go to Utility, Send to Solaris XP1. If you have one of the Wi-Fi ready machines, you can send it to your machine, File, Sent to Machine, and we're good to go. That was pretty easy. All right, let's get So don't forget to tell me how you're doing with your goal. What is your activity toward your goal to complete that goal of yours? So mine is working on strength all this year. So I actually did a bike ride with my club, my local bike club here. It was only like 20 miles and I think 350-ish feet of climbing. It was a very easy ride. It was a social ride, but I haven't been riding very much this year at all. Usually I aim for at least about 5,000-6,000 miles up to 9,000 miles, and this year I just hit over 1,000 miles for the whole year. That's really, really, really different for me. So I've been running a lot more this year. So it's funny because when you're new to cycling, everything just hurts. It just hurts, and you get over that. Your body gets used to it, but like your shoulders hurt from holding up your head, and girl parts hurt, and your muscles, of course, but just everything hurts. And I'm still in that phase. Like I never got out of that phase because I haven't been riding much at all. So but I enjoy the Sunday rides. They're always fun to see your friends and get out and do something different. And if I've been running on the treadmill or whatever, it's nice to get outside and see my friends. So I did enjoy it a lot and got a good workout, but nothing like what I've done in the past for sure. But that's okay. I'm giving myself grace. Hopefully next year I'll get more into it. But this has been a different year with the cancer recovery and trying to build bone strength. That's my priority right now. So what are you doing for your goal? Help me be inspired by you. Tell me what you're doing, whether it's something active or something in your craft room or even something mentally. You know, if you're trying to be around good people that inspire you, that help you to do the good thing and learn from various experiences and so forth, that's always a really good one to work on too. So there's so many things that we can work on. So what is your goal and how are you doing with it? I forgot to share my shirt today. So it says, "Let's get lost in paradise." This one is from Designs by Juju. I will add information underneath this video with the link to where I got the design.